Okay. I'm going to share a link with you guys. I kind of got a kick out of this. Little story first. Years ago, I had a friend that wouldn't go out with us on the weekends. I think I was out of high school at this point. We'd go out drinking or whatever. And I was at, why did you go hook up with us on the weekends and, carousing or whatever? He said, well, it's a race weekend. It's always a race weekend, and I got to go cut tires for Speedway. I said, what? He goes, well, I do tires for the guys racing Speedway. He tried to explain it to me, these bikes and this. I didn't get it at all. Why would you cut a tire? It makes no sense to me. A few years later, I played this tournament every year, which was, I believe it was Billy Vukovich Jr., who passed away. He was a sprint car racer, amongst other things. And he died down at Rio Bravo, down in Curry County, in a race. And they had a memorial tournament for a couple of years. And we put teams together, and they have a fundraising tournament, golf tournament. And the 2 years that I played in it, we played right behind this kid named Chris Carr, who's races flat track motorcycle racing, the big bikes, V-twins. And still didn't know what the hell it was, but this guy was really personal, really a nice guy. Very successful racing career, and just they're built. I guess they're all built like jockeys, little small guys, but just built like a piston, man. But really a nice guy, super guy, Chris Carr. So all that's, I still don't know what flat track racing is. It's motorcycles. I don't know anything about it. Probably like 5 years ago, I stumbled onto flat track racing here on YouTube. And a lot of old videos of old races. I think it was more popular in the 90s. But I really found it interesting. That's kind of cool. I like the smaller track stuff, the local tracks, people you haven't heard of. They're just kind of on smaller bikes, smaller tracks. They don't travel, they're not going as fast because it's a smaller track. The big professional stuff, the experts, these guys are doing 120, 130 miles an hour. And it's just insane. But the smaller stuff for me is easier to watch, more entertaining. So flat track, it's motorcycle racing. They go fast, turn left. It's just a big oval or a smaller oval, and it's just an interesting. It's a certain style of racing on motorcycles. I kind of noticed this, but it didn't register. But I don't know of many sports where the men and women compete together. I have a golfing background. I could play on a golf course with a woman playing. She'll play from the ladies' tees. I can play from the men's tees. There's a PGA Tour for professional golfers, and there's an LPGA Tour that's segregated. The women play their thing, the men play their thing. And most sports are like that. Rarely do they compete together. Flat track racing, men and women. Same track. They're either on a single cylinder or a V-twin, and you go to town. It's really impressive. There's a young girl named Shayna Texter, who I think was a champion for more than once, I believe, for the single cylinders, single bikes. And there's a couple other gals that race this stuff too, that do really well, and they're racing right next to the guys, and I think that is so cool. The feminists never talk about it. I think they'd pick up on that, but it's not like there's any handicapping or they get to start different time, whatever. It's men and women out there racing. That's pretty cool. So I for probably 4 or 5 years now, I watch a lot of flat track. I've subscribed to about a dozen channels, which are flat track racing channels on YouTube. And sometimes I'll watch a whole bunch of them for a month or two, and then I might not watch them for a while. But I've always been interested in it. This video, I'll put a link down below. It's one that it's a channel that every week or so they'll put up a video. This little 3.5 minute video. And it's it's called Flat Track Warriors feature race from Oglethorpe Speedway. Let me see here. Oglethorpe Speedway Park, March 2021. So this is a recent race, a local thing, wherever Oglethorpe is. I'm sure it's East Coast somewhere. But I'm watching it, and there's these 4 or 5 guys on bikes. And It's a flat track race. They get started. They go around a couple of times, and I'm watching it, and something seems a little different. And so I'm paying a little more attention. And I noticed one guy's missing an arm. Then I see another guy has a prosthetic, a hook of some sort. He's hanging on the bike. The other two guys are missing a leg. And out there racing, flat track. And I thought, man, how cool is that? Here's a couple of people that, someone might have said, well, I can't do all this stuff because I got this handicap, and so that part of my life is over or whatever. Here's some guys that suited up, and they're out there on a flat track, flying around this thing, hanging on with one hand, kind of thing. And I was just so impressed because it didn't say anything in the video. Oh, this is like, disabled folks racing, or it wasn't anything like that. No disrespect, but it was God, it made me proud. I left some corny comment on it or whatever, but to see these guys out, I think assume it's a bunch of guys, 4 guys, missing arms and legs, they're racing. It didn't slow them down, and I was just so proud to see that. Really inspired me. Flat Track Warriors feature from Oglethorpe Speedway. 4 or 5 guys, I think it is. Scotty Taylor's the channel. And I'll put a link up to it. So if you ever think you can't do something because of this, that, or the other thing, there's probably someone who in your same position could do it. So you might just need to change your attitude. Hopefully you get something out of this like I did. Love you. God bless.